Hello everyone, I'm Mike Toledo, your host on Dent Time PDR, a podcast about PDR training, tutorials, interviews, and much more. So get something to eat, drink, and start pushing. It's time to listen. All right, for the first time ever, I do not have a friggin' solid topic right now. It's one of these things that I've had other topics ahead of me that I want to talk about, but today or tonight or this morning, however time you're listening to, this podcast is going to be kind of like a Seinfeld podcast, really about nothing. There's no motive. There's no plot into this podcast. It's going to be just a free for all topic. Whatever came up this week, I'm going to just touch base on it. Kind of like that's what good podcast is about, right? You listen to someone else's thoughts and they're talking out loud and you just happen to be the listener. Well, in case you have not listened to any of my podcasts before, just in case, I will tell you again that my podcast is all about PDR, not just one specific area about paintless dent repair. It could be about tools, could be about training, could be about techniques. It could be about marketing. It's an all-around podcast based on my experience, what I've been doing, the results, the not so good results. So that's what I'm about. And I just like to keep it real as much as I can for you guys. That's how it is. So if you like this podcast and you are thinking about possibly giving me a review on iTunes, please do so. That would be awesome. Or tag me on my Instagram. Or tag me on your regular Instagram. You don't even have to share my Instagram, but tag me in yours. That'd be awesome. And just mention my podcast if you don't mind. DentTimePDR.com. Mention my podcast and I'll give you a shout out back at you. Appreciate that. So again, this is a free-for-all podcast. I'm just going to go down the line here. And I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but I've been stepping up my video stuff lately. I've made a commitment to step it up. And that's for all audiences. Now, in case you're wondering, Mike, I see you put video tutorials out on YouTube, but what's the difference between those and the one on your Dent Trainer with John Hiley? A lot. There's a lot different than that. The tutorials are much longer, at least 2 to 3 times longer than that. And the content is 2 to 3 times better. So there's specific things I have you see. See, when you're doing paintless dent repair and you're learning to do PDR, it's the details in between the main steps, besides pushing, besides tapping down, besides glue pulling. There are little tiny details that make those steps polished, make it come together. In other words, how to finish a dent, identifying what is what in the reflection, and then being able to use and choose the right tools to help you finish the job. So that's what Dent Trainer is about. And those are key ingredients to help you become a better technician. And speaking of training, there are a few events coming up. You've got the Stanliner Tools event that's coming up in April, end of April. Go check them out, stanlinertools.com. You'll see in the middle of their page more information. I highly recommend to go there because you are going to see more of the tool demonstrations than you did at MTE or anywhere else you've ever seen, besides going to see Kaz himself, which he's going to be there. And there's going to be different groups and people who know how to use those tools, and you'll get firsthand demonstrations and you'll be able to experience the tools for yourself, and you'll get tool discounts as well. So check that out, stanlinertools.com. The date is towards the end of April. I'm the worst. Like I said, I don't have anything prepared in front of me. It's the last week of April. And before that, you're going to have Anson's open house. That's the weekend before Easter, just before. It's the Easter weekend. What am I saying? I think it's Easter weekend, which I believe. I'm not going to give that to you either. It's Anson. It's in April too as well. Go to ansonpdr.com or go to Anson PDR on their Facebook. Just look up Anson PDR on Facebook. You get all that information, event information. Last time I checked, Anson did not have anything officially up on their home website, so I think they were working on it the last time I talked to them. But again, you can get that information on their Facebook page. I'll have links down below, guys, too, as well, so don't trip. If you can't remember what I'm saying, just look underneath. Last but not least, there's PDR Canada. They're having an event in Canada, obviously. PDRRepairSecrets.ca is the website. Sign up, check it out. I personally will be there as well. I'll be at Anson. I'll be at the Stanliner, and I will be at the PDR Canada event. That's going to be super interesting. They are determined to give you hands-on. So if you're a new tech or an older tech, you're going to get something out of that. There's going to be technician Don Kavanaugh is going to be there. And you've got Jean, or he spells it Z-A-N. I always mess up on his name and I apologize. I think it's Jean. He's won 2 out of the 3 Dental Olympic contests in 2018 and 19. Really good, talented tech, really nice guy. And he will be there to share some of his techniques too during that demonstration. And there's some few other people, and then myself. I'll be giving you all the rundown on marketing. Kind of the same thing. You hear me talk about marketing here on this podcast, which gives a lot of value. But if you want to put those marketing steps in much better prerogative, shall I say, and know what, have a point of action, then attend that or attend one of those other ones. Mega Media event is coming up too as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be officially announcing that. That will be in October though. So just plan around mid-October. We will announce the dates, signups, all that. And that will be a limited seating, everybody. I'm not into training or lecturing 100 people at a time. That's not John and I's style. Although John would probably like it. But for me personally, I like the intimacy and I like the smaller venue. I think a lot more people get out. It's kind of like training people in a smaller venue rather than a huge venue. I think more people get better results and have a better experience when it is a smaller group. That's just the way I like to do it. So I invite you to go out as soon as we release it. I would definitely think about buying the ticket because it's going to be a reduced rate up front, and then it will get higher as it gets closer to selling out. No joking. So anyhow, wow, man, I got a lot of tools this week. I came home last night after I was training some students, and lo and behold, I thought these tools were for the students that they ordered because some of them are, one's from Norway and the other one's from Michigan, and I just thought they ordered a bunch of tools. It was coming, and lo and behold, it was all different tools for me to try and test out, which is freaking awesome. It's probably some of the best all-around tools that I actually have all at once. All of them are really, really good. And let me break it down for you. Okay. So I get a box from Dent Kraft. Well, they contacted me and they told me, say, hey, I got a tool for you. I heard you talking about, the fender flaring, kinking, the blowouts. So I'm sure most of you guys and gals have seen or done a dent where it's like someone kicked the front edge of a fender, right? And you've got a kink in it. If you're not experienced, you think, yeah, no problem. I should be able to, that's a weak area. I should be able to, manipulate that, put it back. And then what happens, it starts blowing out further on both sides because the tension, there's nowhere for the metal to go except for outward when you're trying to push it back. So there's no reverse pulling as you're pushing to keep that edge from buckling any further. Well, lo and behold, I put a video out on my Dent Trainer, my Dent Time page, and I was talking about that topic. I was like, man, if somebody, we've been doing this PDR business for a long time, and I've seen people come out with their makeshift stuff, their pogo stick against it, leverage. I think the best thing I saw so far was Sal's from Dent Dial. He had 2 suction cups on the furthest end of his flat bar, and then he had he had little things that screw on between his flat bar, holding down the fender as he was pushing. Now, that was a good idea. The only problem with that is that your reflection is usually in the way, or that bar is usually in the line of sight of where you want to see with your reflection. For him, I know it works for him, but I know there could be a better solution for everybody that could work for everybody. And so I get contacted from Manny Q. I call him Manny Q from Puerto Rico. And he sends me a message. He was an outstanding, great tech. He does hail as well. And he does big dents on the island. I've trained a few other guys too that he knows. But anyways, long story short, he sends me a video. He's like, Mike, listen, man, this is what I've been using. And it's been working. So he sends me, no, he didn't send me anything. He sends me a video clip of this blown out, nasty fender edge. And he shows me how he was able to fix it and save it. Now, the reason why I'm not describing what it is because I think a couple people are working on this, and I don't want to say it, and I really want people to actually benefit from their idea. But all I'm going to say is it just took people to understand and hear that we need this tool. And in this year, 2019, you're going to see, I think, a couple variations. In Dentcraft, they call it a prototype. It looks pretty good. It's pretty good. That's probably nothing like what you're thinking and you're imagining. Okay, it's not some big apparatus. It's simple. And Manny Q, going back to Manny Q actually had that idea. And I don't know if he talked to these guys, to be honest with you. He might have. I have to contact him. Maybe I'll bring Manny on here. I'd love to bring Manny on here. Matter of fact, I think he'd be a good guest. And I don't bring people on for the whole show, guys, unless it's something we can talk about the whole time. But I usually like to bring them on as guests. So Manny's the one that came up with that idea, and it just happened to be Dentcraft sent me a polished version of that idea. And anyways, I hope it's going to work out well. Tomorrow, I'm supposed to kink a fender, and we'll see how it works. Hopefully it does. That way I don't have to purchase any more insurance on the car. Anyways, so tools. So tools are going to make a huge difference, guys. I mean, invest in tools, right? Investing in tools is investing in your money, in your business. Investing money for tools is for your business. If you're not willing to invest for your company, I don't know, man. I think you're kind of suffocating it. Yes, we all fix dents, and I could fix dents with just 5 tools. But that was the 90s. That was the early 2000s at the most. Things change, things get better, adapt. And us guys who are, in their mid 50s, mid 40s to mid 50s, we're the old school. We're OG, right? Still keep that open mind, man. I'm telling you, those young guys are going to freaking leave you in the dust. in everything. I don't just mean a closed mind and just the tools, your thinking, marketing, your attitude, and getting new tools. Heck, it's a write-off too. I got to look at it that way, man. It should be an awesome thing to do is buy tools, wait for some reviews, check out some reviews online, and see what happens. So you guys seen the Lucky 7. I put that video out. If you have not, go on YouTube. Just go to YouTube at denttime.com. You'll see that Lucky 7. That tool is really good. It's really good. And this year is going to probably be the most interesting year for me to do video reviews. So I've been stepping it up. That's what I'm trying to get at. I love doing tool reviews. I get excited. I can't wait to make a dent. I think about the video I want to do for it. That's one thing about video too. And we're going to get to a topic right now because I wanted to bring this topic up. Told you I'm going to be going all over the place as usual, but I keep it interesting, guys. And this podcast isn't just about me, man. It's about you. That's mainly what I like to make it about. Okay. I love, I'm the host, but it's not about me. I'm relating to what you guys feel, do, see, what happens out there, what tools I can recommend. And this is based on my experience. So let's talk about the tools. Then I'll move on to a video topic, a really cool, interesting video topic. So tools, today I got the new root beer 2.0s. Now I've had the clear ones. Those are the prototypes. And they pull really well, guys. Oh, I know. Those root beers, they break. Yes, they did. They broke. The batch I had, I guess I had one or two batches. I forgot which one it was, but they lasted for me. But then I got a new set, and they know it. They knew they cracked, but at least they did their job, right? They were like a bee, man. They stung you. They stung that dent, and they died. Right? They did their job. They were good. Nobody complained that they didn't pull well. They just were disappointed that they broke too soon. Well, now it's 2019. They got a second version. And the color looks darker. It doesn't look as transparent. So it's definitely darker. Like a dark lager root beer. That's what the color looks like. And they're strong. And they yank. So be careful. Because you're going to start pulling mountains with their own weather system on it. That looks like a pretty good high there. Yeah. Got to knock it down, though. A lot. So watch out for the root beer 2.0s. They look promising. They got square tabs now. They got the round tabs. And something very interesting about them. They have a slight dome. Or at least some of the versions have a slight dome, and it makes a difference. It definitely yanking. Now, my advice for these guys, for you people who are not that experienced in glue pulling, don't take the same size tab and match it up with the same size dent. Just remember, you're going to get a volcano. I always have to remind you that. Don't do that. Try to go for a smaller, more effective tab, and you'll get way better results. You'll surprise yourself on how well it can pull. So what was the other thing I got? So I got a new Stanliner tool, the Killer Whale Tail version. Now, darn it, as much as I love Thomas and Kaz, if Kaz has an idea, I should change it, he'll change it. He'll change it on you in a heartbeat. So if you see one of the whale tails you like and it's available, you better darn get it, because you're not going to get the same exact one. I'm sorry. Not when it comes to these whale tails, because these whale tails really is a work of art, man. Really is. If you look at it, like there's really no machine that could actually, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to take that back, but it's a weird curve bend. And I have 3 of them so far, and like an extra large one, I would say a small one. Small means like maybe 2 inches. Okay. And then I've got about a 3-inch one, the new one. It's different. It's different, but I can see it, but I'm not sure how good it's going to. I know it's going to work. Okay, let me rephrase that. I know it's going to work well. Hopefully, it's going to work out to my expectations for what I want to use it for. Now, it's a 30-inch tool, and it's funny too because he sends it with fur this time. Like I don't know what it's made out of. Like what I mean, he basically it's fur. And listen, I love the gesture. It usually you get a leather cover, really nice leather cover over the tool, but this time I got some fur. I don't know if it's cat fur. I don't know if it's rabbit fur, goat fur. I don't know, but it's very interesting. And it ain't that cheap stuff either. You know, they give you real good leather. So, but this time I've got some fur on it. For more information on that, you'll see some videos on it later on when I do the review. Okay, but thank you, Kaz. Thank you, Thomas, and because I really wanted that killer whale tail, and I bought 2 of them for my past students. Gave them one and freaking forgot to get myself one. I didn't give it to them. They bought it. I forgot to get myself one, and I bought a lot of other tools. And I'm glad I did because some of the tools they're not making in production. And one's called the No Name, but we'll get into that later too. Nothing new about that tool. It's just different. That was my thoughts. Okay, so but a very effective tool. The other thing I got. So I ordered 2 VIP sets for my students, right? Because they wanted the VIP sets that tap down. And that's with the, regular VIP tips. They're interchangeable tips. And one of them is the plastic tip, which is very good. So if you feel like you love the VIP, but you're not getting you're actually marking the paint possibly. I mean, maybe the clear coat's it's too soft for the VIP. Well, the plastic one they have is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Just that tip alone is worth the money because your tap downs are going to stay clean for a long friggin' time. And I'm still using it. I've had 2 different students using it, and it still stays its shape. So kudos to Peter over there at VIP. So definitely pick that up. That's not the new tool I'm talking about because you guys are already informed that's been everywhere. What I did get is the new VIP blending tip. He sent it to me in conjunction with those tips. He said, Mike, I want you to try it. I know he's given it to other people already because I've seen it on the web already, but I didn't get the chance to use it. So I pair it up with this new blending hammer. And by the way, the blending hammer I use the most right now is the Bryce Rockhill Mini from Carbon Tech. It is a very good blending hammer. And the ball peen tip on it is just, it's like I don't know if you guys ever had a jeweler's hammer. It works like that. And the jeweler's hammer is legit, really legit. That tip, you will love it. So going back to that blending tip, it kind of looks like Edgy Tools' blending tip. I don't remember the name of it. And Edgy Tools, for the most part, all of his stuff works really well. It seems gimmicky, but a lot of it does work really well beyond what I thought they would all work out to be, but they got to give to those Dave at Edgy Tools. Really good stuff. So back to the blending tip. So I pair it with the new Boss PDR blending hammer. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Ultra carries it now. They carry it, and I think it's they got maybe what the heck is it? Maybe a 12-inch, a 16-inch, 19-inch, and it goes on from there. I mean, I think they carry like 4 or 5 different sizes. I got the 16-inch because my friend Don Cav, he's the one that recommended me to get that blending hammer. So I pick it up. I pair it with the new blending tip. And man, it is really, really good. Listen, guys, I am not your everyday blender. Okay. I don't pick up a hammer and blend everything. But it sure is fun. It's a lot more fun now. It's a lot more interesting. It's enjoyable, especially when you're actually hitting something and you're not sure if that's where you're supposed to be hitting, and you actually hit it and it goes down. And it not only goes down, but it goes down smooth. That tip is awesome. And guys who've been using it, who are blenders, been telling me they love it. And they concur. So check that out from VIP. I'm not sure if it's out yet. I just got it. I had to talk to Peter, give him my feedback. That's the thing with me. When I get tools, I'm not generally trying it right then and there and basing my review or my thoughts after one use. I have to have it for like a week or two and use it almost every day, if not every day. And then I can really take some footage of it, show some footage. If it's web worthy, or do I just talk to them in the background, say, you know what, this is what I blah blah blah. This is what would you like. You know, they want my feedback before they put it in production. Then I do that. Just like I'm doing with the Dent Craft stuff. I got to work with it in other situations. So what another situation would be too is like, you know, you're working on dents, maybe a Mercedes-Benz. They used to get those dents in the front fender below the headlight, and you're pushing on the dent. It's so deep that when you push on the dent, it pops out. The fender pops out of alignment, and then you're really screwed. And then it's kind of, well, this thing would definitely help prevent that. Keeps tension against the fender as you are pushing. It's like someone, like they're helping you, putting a hand against the edge of the fender as you're applying pressure without anything being in the way. That's awesome. So we got the VIP blending tip out of the way. That's what I got. Okay, we've got the Boss blending hammer. Okay, let's talk about the Boss PDR blending hammer. Now it has a aluminum ball on the end, which is super important on any blending hammer now these days, guys. But listen, that's just my opinion. But it's also a lot of other people think the same thing. Try putting a ball on anything on the end of a rod, and it feels like it's complete when it has that. It's just something that your palm can comfortably rest against, or inside of your palm when you're rocking the blending hammer. Gives you that kind of, feels like an extra little grip. Now, the only thing I would prefer with the aluminum ball is maybe if they had on two parts of it kind of like a rubber around it just a little bit. It can feel a little tiny bit slippery to me when compared to the ball one that maybe is on my hand, like from the Bryce Rockhill, the mini Bryce Rockhill from Carbon Tech. Or if you have a blending hammer that's got the thread that goes into any of the, like the tools, that size thread. I'm very bad at measurements and sizes. And you guys are probably going, it's this, Mike, it's this. Anyways, it will fit in there. Take a rubber ball. Dent Gear used to carry all kinds of rubber balls. I don't know who carries them now. I'll try to look it up, and if I find it, I will put it on the description below. But the rubber balls are legit. I know John Hiley carries one called the Clown Nose, and that's really good too if you want to use that for an end of a blending hammer or ball, whatever. It's made out of carbon fiber. This PDR Boss, well, at least the shaft is made out of carbon fiber. It's a really shiny, smooth carbon fiber. It doesn't have any texture to it. It's like a gloss, high clear gloss carbon fiber. Really pretty, really nice. And on the end, it's got aluminum and double-sided, so you can screw in any tip you want. But it's the offset of it, like offset off the shaft is quite, maybe an inch on each side, 1.25 inches. So it's pretty tall. That's the only thing I had to get used to compared to a low profile like the mini Rock Hill or the other typical carbon fiber blending rod. So blending hammer, sorry. But you know what? At the same time, it gives it kind of a uniqueness, and I got used to it real fast. So that's the pro. I got used to it real fast. It didn't bother as much as I visually thought it was going to. It kind of helped actually in a way a little bit, because the tip was, with the length, the size of the tip gave me more vision, I would say. It was more balanced when I was hitting. I wasn't stabbing at an angle. And that's another thing too. I want to try that ratchet hatchet from Hayes Freeman. So that's that. I'll put a link down at the bottom, you guys, and you should go from there and check out what you guys got. What else did I get? What else did I get? Oh yeah. I think some of you guys saw it in MTE, but you probably overlooked it. It's the Ultra leverage hangers. This is cool. So you can actually use any factory hole on the hood, roof, trunk, and you can basically, it's kind of like you know how you have your door jammer and it goes into the latch, and then you tighten it and it clicks. It's kind of like that, but without the click. You put it in one of those holes, small holes, and then it's got this self-tightening. And it tightens up against the hole, and it doesn't move. And it's pretty dang badass. It's kind of like the new hood stand holders. Kind of like that. It's hard to explain. But anyways, and then he's got 3 different types. You got 2 different types, 3 different all-around types. The other one is it's kind of got a real. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain it. It can slip between the brace, like where the glue's at. Slip between that, tightens up against it, and it's got rings hanging below it. And you just turn the rings to however you want where your tool's at and fit in there. And it's unbelievable. It's like creates leverage anywhere on your panel. Goodbye chains, goodbye all this, messing up the hole and all this other stuff. It's fantastic. Man, that's going to make hail guys' life easier, the route tech, everything. If you got to hang something, man. And I honestly think it'll work on the edge, but I haven't tried that on a trunk, or I haven't tried it on the trunk. I'm talking like inside of the trunk, or inside of a panel of a truck of the taillight area. But we'll get to that. But anyways. So that's what I had. Of course, I just kind of did a small review of the Hayes Freeman pivot tips. You can see that on YouTube, but if you want to see the full capabilities of that tool tip, you can go on Dent Trainer. It is just released right now. It is that air cannon repair I did. There's going to be more of those. That was pretty fun. Okay, so let's talk about video now. This is a different segment now. We're going into video. All right. First of all, there is no excuse. In 2019, you ran out of excuses. Right? You ran out of excuses. Now it's time to do it. I know you guys are paying attention because I see it more and more. A matter of fact, I'd like to do a video PDR challenge. Here's my thing, and I'm going to be in it too. This isn't a contest. However, well, it's not a contest who does the best. It's really not that. I don't want to make it that way. I want to make it because it should be a challenge for you personally to create a video, a 1-minute video that explains how you do a dent. How you do a dent in 1 minute. Now, you're probably going to have 5-10 minutes worth of, and some of you maybe an hour of footage, but you have to chop that down to 1 minute and get your point across. And here's the catch. It's got to be short, simple, interesting. Short, simple, interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I just gave you a recipe to videos. If you keep that in mind, your videos will already be 3 times better, 10 times better than they are now. People do not have a lot of time. They don't want to spend a long time unless they're learning something. Then they will, as long as you're continuing to give them good content, interesting content. But again, none of us are Jet Li directors and we do kung fu movies. We're not action. Somewhat we are. But you can make it as action-packed as you want. Now here's a challenge. I want you guys to do it. And then I want you to tag, hashtag, I want you to tag me and John. You guys know me at Dent Time, and then John's at John Hiley. You can look him up too as well. But the hashtag will be SSI video. Hashtag SSI video. That means short, simple, interesting video. KISS is another way to say keep it simple, stupid, but it's not. What are you trying to keep simple? But if you remember short, simple, interesting, it'll be much better in 1 minute or less. It's fine. Now you guys can take it. Here's what, you know what, I'm going to give you some ideas because I'm going to do this idea and you guys are more than welcome to do it for yourself. But wouldn't it be interesting if you took your vehicle, your marked vehicle, and you took a ball peen, the rubber ball, and you whacked it right in front of your door where your logo's at. So you have a camera on it showing that, and then you fix it. Why, we're so confident in our own services, we can dent our own cars and fix it. Bada bang, bada bang. Give us a call. We put that pride back in your ride. So something like that. But you can show more than just you banging the car. You can put some, be yourself, but make it funny or make it interesting, make it professional, quick to the point, techie. What's your theme? But you got to give them something to hold their attention. Give them the hold attention scenario. If I was a customer and I didn't know anything much about this, which most of them don't, keep in mind, and I saw a guy whacking his own car that does dents, I'd have to say, well, hey, if that guy believes in his service so much he can whack his own car and fix it and put it on video, I'm in. You can market that. Remember, the reason why I'm telling you to do a 1 minute video so you can do what you want with it. So you can put it on all platforms. This is the kind of crap I teach in mega media event, but with details. It's not crap though, actually. It's good crap. So get some motivation, do it. Do the 2, 3, 5 minute videos, unless they are tutorials, unless they are specific tutorials or specific things that need the length of time to explain things, then so be it. If you want to create a documentary, then perfect. Name it a documentary so people can expect it's going to be a long video. But if you're trying to get someone's money, you're trying to earn their business, documentaries aren't going to cut it. Nobody has time for that. So I challenge you guys, and I know, you know what, maybe 10% of you guys will actually act on who listen to my podcast. But that's great, because you are the 10% that's going to be 100% above the rest. I'm telling you, you either want to start now or start in the middle of the marathon. So it's up to you, whatever you guys want to do. But tag me though, hashtag me when you get the video done. And I'll look through it. John will look through it. And we'll give you 1 year subscription to denttrainer.com. And I'll give you a free paddle, my signature series paddle, the real one, the eFit paddle, sticker and signed signature on it. I'll give you that one. And let's see here. I got to give you something else, man. But it's got to be short, simple, interesting. And most of all, I know some of you guys are actually doing fantastic at video. And this is open to everybody. But I don't know the last thing I'm going to do right now, because again, I told you this is just off the fly. But here's the thing. It's supposed to be fun and beneficial for you. You're the one that's going to benefit the most. Even if you don't win the contest, you are. Oh, here, another thing. You've got to upload it to YouTube. It's got to be on your YouTube channel, public. So that's the other catch. Why? Well, and any of you guys do that, I will send you a video on how you can actually make that video monetize and get it out there, how to market that video. And it won't just be for that video. You'll take that and you'll be able to use some of those techniques for now on. Some of you guys are already doing it, but I have my own way of doing things too. So that's that. So create a video, 1 minute video. It needs to be short, simple, interesting. Dent your own car, dent a Lamborghini. I don't know. I don't care. But the thing is that you want to show you denting the car. So it doesn't have to be your own vehicle, but it has to be something that you're going to start off denting your own car. What people are like, man, these dent guys are crazy. They dent their own cars. But you gotta get the attention of you only have 10 seconds. No, you have 5 seconds. Did you know that? 5 seconds. You know those ads come on YouTube? You can't wait to hit that skip ad. But there are very, very few, right? There are very few that actually can capture your attention. Think about that. There are some. I think the most that have actually got my attention was movie trailers. If it was a movie trailer to something and it was kind of action, I think those Marvel ones usually get me. But it's always, pay attention. Why don't you go online and just like watch movie trailers? They call them trailers for a reason. They want you to see the movie, right? I want you to see the rest, but they've got to action pack it and put all the good parts in the beginning so that you can go and watch the full length movie. That's what they're doing. And that's what you got to think about. You're creating an action trailer about your service in 1 minute. But again, it doesn't have to be superhero themed, stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to be in the contest. Maybe I just gave you a great idea. Go for it. Do it. But you know what? Educate the customer and promote yourself. And not only are you educating the customer, you're helping the industry as well. Think about it. If you do it right, you're educating the customer, making yourself look great, like you're an industry leader in your area, and you're promoting the service Paintless Dent Removal, which is getting out to more and more people. And do not, please, if you can help it, don't put how cheap you are Don't promote the price. Promote the service, the experience, and educate. And you'll have a great video. You'll have a great one. You'll have great results. And be yourself. Okay? So that's all that I really had to say about this. And that's all I got to say about that. Hey, I just wanted to tell you guys, thanks again for listening. If you can, please, once again, give me a review. Let me know how I'm doing. Good or bad, shoot, put it out there. I'll start reading these things too as well. I actually got to start reading them starting next podcast. So I really do appreciate you becoming a listener. Podcast is doing great and growing. Thanks to you. I do appreciate you listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.